Ladies and gentlemen, the rice diet. It's the most amazing diet ever. I'll say you got to try this thing because it has changed my life. I've lost 29 and a half pounds in January 2024. Today's February 1st. And today is the first day of anyone who wants to start a new life, to get healthy. My health has just improved dramatically over the last 30 days or so. So I want everyone to know all about the rice diet. So let's go back about 75 years in history and talk about Dr. Walter Kepner. He is literally the founder of the rice diet. He literally worked at Duke University and started treating his patients who were very sick. Some of them were morbidly obese, but a lot of them had things like kidney disease. Later, a book came out, Walter Kepner and the Rice Diet, but he started treating his patients back in the 1940s. And look at this boy here. This kid was like 160 pounds. There's the before and after. On the left is the before. He was 160 pounds back in 1948, got on the diet, and about 4 months later, he was down to about 97 pounds. You can clearly see that's night and day. He was at death's door because of his kidneys, and they were totally malfunctioning, and this rice diet actually cured him of this disease, got him back into a normal life, and this kid's life was transformed because of the rice diet. So the diet was originally for people who were just very sick. So immediately, Dr. Kepner realized that he had struck gold with his rice diet because people were being transformed immediately who stuck to the program of eating just rice and 4 fruits a day, and they literally transformed their lives. People who were morbidly obese began to get thin again. They got back to a normal weight that they had maybe years ago, but had over the time, they literally started overeating and eating things that got them fat. Well, he realized not only does this diet help people who have serious chronic illness like kidney disease, people with type 2 diabetes, he has a 100% cure rate for type 2 diabetes. This is a phenomenal way for people to get their physical body back into a normalized size.
Kepner diet is a diet of rice. They use white rice and fruit juice and sugar, table sugar. They had to give table sugar to cut the nutrient content of the rice. You see, rice has so much protein in it that it would burden failing kidneys and failing livers. So in some cases, Kepner had to make half the diet sugar, which has no protein, so that the patient would do okay, would not suffer from too much protein. A white rice was just about 5% protein. His naysayers, the people who wanted to see Kepner fail, actually took 8 of his patients who were on the rice diet, put them in a metabolic ward, and studied them, and reported they could find no metabolic deficiencies and only positive results on his patients. If you want to find...
Okay, so what I want to do is share with you what you eat on the rice diet, because most people have no idea what is the rice diet all about. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what the rice diet entails, but first, I want you to know that you're not going to be starving on this diet. Every time when you eat rice, you feel full. You'll feel satisfied. It gives you energy. You're not going to be like, hey, I want to go have some, chocolate bar or something like that. For 30 days, I've never once had a chocolate bar. I never once went to get potato chips. I never once went and cheated in a way like that where you are completely off the diet. In fact, the worst thing I've ever done is I've had bagels, which bread is not part of the diet. So here's the basic thing. It's basically about rice. So you want to use rice, you want to eat rice, and you don't want to do anything to it. Basically cook it. So you cook the rice, no salt, no butter, no seasoning. So you want to eat foods without any seasoning on them or salt or pepper or anything. So it's very plain, it's kind of bland, but you get used to it. It's not that big of a deal. So that's what I want to share with you. This diet is so simple and so easy. It's just 2 cups of rice a day, 1 cup for each meal. Now again, I've been eating 1 cup of rice a day for almost the whole month of January, and I still lost almost 30 pounds, 29 and a half pounds. So if you can eat a cup of rice, you're going to feel much fuller. You're going to feel very good. But the actual diet calls for 3/4 of a cup of rice. And I also cheated. This is one of the cheat things that I did. See that? That is Squirt. And it's a soft drink, but it's made with real sugar. Another one that I like, I don't have any bottles, but right here, you can get these at Walmart. These are IBC root beer. And they come in 4 bottles to a pack. They're about $5 for a 4-pack of those, so it's about $1 something. These are close to about $2, over $2 a piece, so they're a little bit more pricey. But they're made with cane sugar, real sugar, table sugar. And this is not something that's, detrimental to your health. Kepner used sugar in his diet for some of his worst patients. So the bottom line is, if you want to lose weight fast, I'm going to show you exactly what I eat right now. Okay, so here it is right here. You have 2 meals a day. Here's your meal. You get your cup of rice and you get 2 pieces of fruit. Here's an apple, here's an orange. Over here you might want a pear and an apple maybe for dinner. So your first meal, I have like lunch and dinner. It's all I eat. I don't have anything for breakfast. So around 10 to 12, I'll cook up a cup of rice, which you need 2 to 1 on the rice. So whatever the rice is, I usually use 1 cup. This is 3/4 of a cup. So you can clearly see that it's below. This is a 1 cup measuring. So this is 3/4 of a cup. That's what the diet calls for. But you can cheat. I cheated almost the whole time. I used 1 cup of rice for each meal. So this would be my first meal of the day. 2 pieces of fruit and a cup of rice. And then later on in the afternoon, I'd have another 2 pieces of fruit and another cup of rice with that meal as well. But again, the diet calls for 3/4 of a cup. If you want, in the beginning, start off with a cup, because again, I lost almost 30 pounds in the month of January 2024. So here's the rice, one of the rice that I use. It's called Mahatma. It's America's favorite rice. You can get this rice at Walmart. You can get it at almost every grocery store in America carries that brand. There's another one I like over there. There's Jasmine rice. So I love Jasmine rice, and twice a day, I have about 2 of these sodas a day. So this is another cheat thing. So it's not a bad thing to have sugar, and it's not going to ruin your diet to have a couple of these a day, or a root beer. So 2 root beers, 2 Cokes, 2 whatever, as long as they have real sugar, not the kind with high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is your enemy. Cane sugar is your friend. So that's the basic diet. 2 of these meals a day. First meal for me is around 10 to noon. 1 cup of rice with 2 fruits. And then later in the afternoon, I have another cup of rice, cook them up, and then I have my 2 pieces of fruit with that. And I usually, every day, I've had at least 2, sometimes 3 of these soda pops. So I'm telling you, this is one of the greatest diets, because this bag here is a 20-pound bag. You can clearly see right there. 20-pound bag of rice costs you about $11. So it's very cheap, very inexpensive. Now these are a little bit more pricier. These are about $20 to $25 because that's jasmine rice. So it's a little bit more expensive for jasmine rice. But if you're just getting plain rice, this is a 10. This tastes just about as good as jasmine. There's really not much of a difference there at all. So that's the diet. I hope you'll start to incorporate this into your life as soon as possible. So let me show you how to cook the rice. You basically take your rice and you put that into the bowl. Again, this is 3/4 of a cup, but I used a full cup of rice almost every meal, 90% of the time, and I lost almost 30 pounds. So you put your rice in the bowl. Now you're gonna need 2 to 1. Whatever the rice is, you need 2 of the water. So we'll pour out water. I'm gonna get it tried about 3/4 of a cup. So that's roughly about 3/4 of a cup. 1 of those. Here's another one, 2 of those. Now you're ready to go. Now all you have to do is cook your rice for bring it to a boil, cook it for about 15 minutes, and that should be perfect rice. You might want to stir the rice about every 5 minutes or so it doesn't stick to the bottom, but you're golden. 15 minutes cook time, put it on high to get it to a boil, and then turn it down to low to cook it for the 15 minutes. Okay, so there you have it, a nice bowl of rice. And again, this is a very fair amount. This is nice and fluffy, perfect rice every time. But this is only 3/4 of a cup of uncooked rice. Afterwards, you can see this is probably 2 cups of rice after it's been cooked. It fluffs up and looks very nice and fluffy, and it tastes great. Again, no salt, no butter. Just eat this nice and plain. and you will get used to it. It tastes very good from the very first time. After a while, it just becomes the norm. So that's my rice, and then I'm going to have 2 cups. I'm going to have 2 pieces of fruit right after this. So now I want to share with you the inside scoop of what really happened in my life with this diet and what God's been doing in my life. Number 1, God sent me a supernatural message while I made this video, and I was going to not show you that. I was going to basically censor God, and I decided God put it upon me to share this with you. So I'm going to show you the supernatural message God sent to me. But I want you to know that this is the diet plan that Dr. Kepner came up with. I wanted to show you what he teaches you to do. I literally cheated on this diet, not the whole time, but for about maybe 5% of the time. So you do anything, if you're a successful salesman and 95% of the time you're selling, professionally and you're doing a great job, but 5% of the time you're not doing so well, guess what? You're going to be a highly successful person. If you're a golfer and 95% of the shots that you hit on the golf course are excellent shots, you're going to do extremely well if only 5% of the time you're off course. If you're flying a plane from one destination to another, and 95% of the time you're right on course, guess what? You're going to do awesome. So I want you to know that I literally had meat incorporated into this 1 day a week. Now, what I did is there's 7 days in a week. You have 2 meals a day. You have your lunch and your dinner on this diet plan. So that's 14 meals in a week. And I decided, you know what? 1 day a week, I'd like to have meat because I don't really, I didn't fully commit to being a vegetarian again. I did that for years. And then when I got off it and went back to eating meat, it took me a while to be able to eat meat again. I had to start off eating eggs only for quite a while. And then I started incorporating meat into my body because your body needs time to readjust to be able to break down the meats, and it's different enzymes are necessary for that. So I want you to know I did eat meat a little bit during this diet. So 1 day a week, it actually turned into 2 because, again, I didn't want to just go 1 day and just kind of have a pig out day and have whatever you want to eat. I never pigged out. What I allowed myself to do is have 1 hamburger a week. Also, on another day, I would allow myself to have maybe steak. Either pepper steak, which is a Chinese food incorporated with rice. So I'd have rice and pepper steak. Or I would just go to a place, a steakhouse, and have filet mignon with mashed potatoes and a salad, or mashed potatoes and broccoli or something like that. So the bottom line is, this is the first phase of the diet. First phase of the diet, you want to completely stay as much as you possibly can on the Kepner diet of just rice and 4 pieces of fruit per day, and spread up into 2 meals. So you do that, you're going to be very successful. If 1 day a week or if 2 days a week you decide to, hey, you know what, on my cheat days, I will start off maybe with a hamburger for lunch. And all I do is have a hamburger. I do not eat French fries. Now, I did cheat 1 day and I had 5 French fries. I was eating with my brother and I had about 5 of his French fries. No big deal. But you go eat half a plate of French fries, that's a big deal. So fried foods are a no-no. Eating a lot of bread with butter on and that kind of stuff, that's kind of a no-no. I kind of stayed away from that the whole time. But I did allow myself to have some meat. So what I did was I broke up those 2 meals that you have, let's say, on the 7th day. What I would do is on Thursday, I'd go out and have a hamburger. And then that evening, when I wanted to have my evening meal, I would get right back on track and have the rice diet with the 2 pieces of fruit for my second meal on that day. And then the next day, the same kind of thing. I would either go out and have steak or something like that, or I haven't had chicken yet, but I'd like to go out and try chicken too, or maybe have chicken on top of my rice. I did have 1 day I had black beans on top of my rice towards the end of the first phase, and that was very delicious, and it was high in sodium, almost 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which is way off the charts on this diet, and yet I still lost 1 pound that day. So I want you to know you can incorporate meat into this, and you're still going to lose, like I did, a lot of weight. I lost almost 30 pounds. Had I not cheated at all, I'm certain that, because I arrived at almost the weight that I ended up at a week early, but I cheated. I did a little too much cheating, and as a result of that, I didn't make my ultimate goal was to lose over 30 pounds, but I got it so close to it, 29 and a half pounds. I'm happy. So bottom line is, I wanted you to know this so that you know the truth, that this diet is awesome. But if you want to veer off course, 5% of the time, 2 meals in a week, it's okay to go have a hamburger. It's okay to go have some chicken. It's okay to go eat any kind of a food like that you want to have, other than, like I said, try and stay away from fried foods. If you want to have a clean meat or any kind of meat, if you want to even have a fried, something fried up, a meat that was fried up, that probably, like chicken or something like that, that probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But again, portion control. Don't go eating a whole bucket of, Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right. Have a couple, 2 or 3 pieces of the chicken, maybe something like that. That's okay. But just keep the portions at a, more of a normal size portion. Don't go too crazy on overeating. That's the one thing I don't do, is I'm in total control of my eating because of the rice. Also, I want to confess one thing. For the last 4 years, since all of this, stuff that's been happening since, 2019, I literally told people in January 2019, God was sending me a message, Randy, things are about to really change. Something big is coming. He wouldn't let me know what it was, but we all know what happened in 2019. And because of that, I have been living in fear the whole time. It has changed my life. That's why I started overeating. That's why I started eating things I shouldn't be eating. And God did not like that. It's one of the 7 deadly sins, gluttony. So God doesn't want us doing that. At the beginning of this year, I told God I was going to do this diet, and guess what? God literally took the fear away from me. So every single day this year in 2024, I have been living absolutely fear-free. I'm not afraid of what's happening. Everyone is looking to 2024 as a year that all kinds of calamity, all kinds of horrible things are supposed to happen this year. I'm telling you right now, God has given me a sense of peace and calm that I used to have when I was baptized by the Holy Spirit over a decade ago. For many years, I didn't fear anything. I would go where rattlesnakes are, and I didn't fear rattlesnakes. I had been stung by scorpions, and I didn't fear death. Okay, bottom line is, God took my fear away, and that is like one of the biggest things. As a result of me just making that decision to do this diet, God literally rewarded me and lifted this fear from my body that I've had for 4 years now. So I just wanted everyone to know that. Now let's get into the supernatural message that he sent to me. So when I was filming this part of the video, when I was talking about this young child that was, seriously injured with poor kidneys and was at death's door, you could see his eyes were swollen shut. He had lymphedema, very bad shape, and he was able to get healed on the rice diet. Bottom line is, God wanted to confirm that, yes, this rice diet is, one of it's his food. Rice is something that God made, and he wanted to confirm that, yes, Randy, this diet is basically like God approved. Now, I'm not saying that's what he said to me, but that's what I basically got from him doing this. But I just wanted you to know that, and now I'm going to show you the actual message that he sent to me. I'm going to play the video, but before that, I'm going to show you the details you need to know about up front. All right, so let me start off by sharing with you, God supernaturally altered my computer while making this video, as he's done many times. He helps me to make movies. He helps me to make videos. He does everything he can to assist me. And again, he did something supernatural that is just off the charts as usual. He took the play button, the stop button, and the forward and reverse button completely off of my software while I was making the video. And what happened was, see the scroller there, that red line that's in the center there? That's called a scroller, and that's that shows you where you are in your actual video as you're composing this video, putting it together. And when it's playing, it's moving to the right. Well, guess what? God literally froze that so that it wouldn't move, but it was still playing. And I actually got to the end there. See that gap in between this one section there? And that blue section to the right there. There was a gap in between there, and so there was like dead air. And I thought he just froze the computer and maybe he wasn't really happy with this, but he was letting it play, and then it started playing. You'll hear the next part of the video where Dr. McDougall is talking, that starts playing again, and it's like, oh wow. So then I knew that, okay, God is okay with this. When he freezes something, a video, so that you can't play it and you can't hear it, and he doesn't want you watching it, that's kind of his way of telling me, hey Randy, I don't want you watching this, or hey Randy, this is not true, or hey Randy, I don't like this information being put out there. But when he allows something to be played, it's like he's giving me the approval, like, yes, I allow this. I actually may even endorse this. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to put any words into God's mouth. But he certainly has shown me that he's okay, or he actually wants this information being put out there. So let's go to the next clip here. You can see, right up here in the left-hand corner there, that's where the play button and the stop button and the forward and reverse button are located. Again, it's like driving your car down the freeway and you go to hit the brakes and your foot hits the floor because there is no brake pedal anymore and there's no gas pedal. Okay, that doesn't happen. So you can clearly see that God supernaturally removed the stop button, play button, and reverse and forward button off of my software right here. You don't see anything there. It's completely a clean slate. I'm going to show you the buttons here in just a second. But I wanted you to know God is all-powerful. He can do anything, and this is how he communicates with me. So if those were removed while you're driving your car, that's called supernatural, okay? That's exactly what's happening here. So let me show you the pause button, the play button, and the reverse and forward button. There you can see them clearly there. And that is supposed to be there. But God can supernaturally remove that from my editing software here to send me a message. And he's done this, several times now. It's just one of the things he does. Now I'm going to play the video so that you can, in real time, you can kind of know what's going on here. Okay, Lord. Thank you, Lord. He's sending me a message. Again, here, there's supposed to be a pause button, a play button, and a stop button, and it's not working right now. Lord, I guess you're trying to send me a message that this is something that you want to chime in on, and my Lord is just sending me a message right now. Hey, Randy, yes, this rice diet is for real. I believe this is what he's trying to tell me, but maybe he's trying to tell me something else. I'm not 100% sure. That's what I have to kind of figure out. But clearly you can see here's my mouse right there, and right in here is where there's supposed to be a pause button and a stop button, and it has just been totally removed. This has stopped playing. You can see it just stopped playing right there. There's the scroller right there. Now,
Kepner diet is a diet of rice. They use white rice.
Wow, that's weird. So look at that. See where my that's over here. This scroller is stopped moving. There's no... Oh, Lord, you're awesome. I mean, this is totally supernatural here, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally supernatural. I know. Let me see if I can hit the... Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down. Okay, so you can hear this. But this is totally supernatural.